So in this lesson we are going to learn about key signatures. Let's take a look at page 23. So for key signatures you only need to know where to write them and what these key signatures are. As you can see, we always write the key signature in between the clef and the time signature. For grade 1 we only need to know the key signatures of F major, C major and G major. So you want to study this little part. For F major there's one flat in the key signature. In the treble clef we would write it in the third line, and in the bass clef we write it in the second line. Then for C major there's no sharps or flats. You can see there's nothing there. That's an easy one because we have all white keys to play for the C major scale. For G major we have one F sharp. So the F sharp in the treble clef we write it on the 5th line, and for bass clef we write it on the 4th line. And then let's take a look at your exercises. So exercise 1, we need to learn how to write the key signature. So for F major you have to check the clef. For C major we don't have sharps or flats, so just leave it empty there. Then for G major we have an F sharp, so remember we write it on the 5th line. F is on the 5th line. There are other Fs that you can write, but for a key signature it's like a stamp. Every time you write this F sharp, write it on the 5th line. Okay, next one we have F major. F major has one flat, and that's a B flat. So we can write it nicely on the 3rd line. Every good boy. So B is on the 3rd line. And for G major again we have F sharp. Now this time it's a bass clef, so you want to write the F on the 4th line, because the bass clef lines are great big dragons fly around, so the F comes on the 4th line. Then for F major, next one is on the bass clef again, so we have one flat. B flat, we write it on the 2nd line. Great big dragons fly around, so B is on the 2nd line. So the last one is C major, so there's no sharps or flats to write, just leave it out empty. Right, let's move on to question number 2. Write a simple semi-brief tonic note for the major key shown by the key signature. So you know what a tonic is? We learned some time back. A tonic means the first note of the scale. The first one is being done. We have a flat here. So which key signature has a flat? We know it's the F major that has a flat in its key signature. So F major scale starts on F, so all you have to do is write an F here. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Now this one's a blank one. Which key signature has no sharps or flats? Now we know the C major scale has all white keys. We don't have any black keys to play, so it's a C major. So all we have to do is write a C. You can write any C. You can even write middle C if you want. That will be correct. Next comes an F sharp. So we have a key signature that has F sharp is, let's take a look at this. G major has one sharp. G. Okay, next one's a flat, goes for F major, so we can write a F here. This one's a bass clef, so your G will be, you can take the lower G or you can even write the G on the space. Let's take a look at the next one. We have a flat, so flat belongs to the F major key. You can write any F that you know. I'm gonna write this F. And the last one's again a C major, so you can write a C note here. Alright, that's it. I'm done with that question. Let's go to the third question. Write in the semibriefs the tonic triad of the major key shown by the key signature. So this time you have to write a tonic triad. You have to check the key signature here. So first one is been given. We have a G major key signature, that's an F sharp. So you can write a G major triad. Start on G and write 2 notes above in the next 2 lines. If your note starts on the space, like here, this is F major. The next 2 notes you can draw in the next 2 spaces. Next one is a C major. You can take the lower C, like middle C here, C, E, and G. Right. Okay, so double check all your answers. Let's go to number 4. To which major key does this tonic triads belong? Right here you have to write down the name of the key. First question. Now you want to check the starting note. So the bottom note is the starting note. This one's a C here. So your key will be a C major. And then let's go to number 5. Label these tonic triads using Roman numerals below the chord. Now you can see all of these are tonic triads. So for a tonic triad, we place the number 1 to show that it's the 1 chord starting on the first note. So on all of these places, you can just write a capital number 1. Let's go to number 6. Label these tonic triads using chord symbols above the chord. First one's been given. So you check the bottom note, that's the starting note, and write the letter in capital. So this one's a F, F major. So you just write an F here for the major. Again, you can check the key signature also. There's a B flat which belongs to F major, and check the bottom note. That's also an F. This one has no sharps or flats and it's starting on C, so it will be a C major chord. Then let's go to the last question. Write 1 octave major scales in semibriefs. You want to underline this word semibriefs, going up, using a key signature, and mark the semitones with a bracket. Okay, you have to write the key signature and mark the semitones with a bracket. So the clef has been given. First of all, write down the key signatures before you forget them. So for G major, it's F sharp, F major, B flat. Then you have to write the notes. So how do we write a scale? If it's a G major, it starts on a G and ends on the next G up. So we write 8 notes up from G in the order line, space, line, space. So we have G, A, B, C, D. After D comes E. After E comes F. After F comes back to G. So we stop there. After 8 notes, you can number these notes. Number them from the bottom to the top. So now you have all 8 notes. So we've done most of the work, and the last part is to mark the semitones. So for major scales, we always mark the 3rd and the 4th and the 7th and the 8th with a bracket. Let's do the next one. This is F major scale. So we'll start on a lower F. Since we don't have enough room, I'll start from this F. Finish on the F. You can number the notes. And now you have to do is mark the semitones with a bracket. That's it. So double check your answers, see if you have written out the key signature and the notes in the order and you have marked the semitones. So there are 3 things to check here. So once you have done that, you can go to question number 8 and write out more scales here. This time the semibriefs going down. And use the key signatures and mark the semitones. So you want to write down the key signatures first. Okay, so start the scale from the highest note you know and go down C, B, A, G. From line to space to line to space. Okay, so let's start from middle C. Right, so we have all the 8 notes. Mark it from the bottom, the lowest note, to the top note. Okay, so I have all my 8 notes. After that, the last thing is to mark the semitones. 3rd and 4th, 7th and 8th. Last one. Let's start on the F major scale. You can go down from this F to the lower F. And finally I mark the semitones with a bracket. Okay, so I'm done with this. Let's go to number 9. Look at the key signatures to work out the major keys. Now here is a little piece of music they have given us. Right, how do we find the key of a piece? There are 2 ways to find it. First, by the key signature. Now you know that's an F major. The second is we normally start and end on the tonic of the key. Remember we studied that? We have a key signature of G major, that's F sharp here, and the starting note is also a G. And this piece is written in the key of G major. So all the notes are taken from the G major scale. That's what it means. So the last one has no key signature, no sharps or flats, and the starting note and the last note are both C's. Or the key of this piece is C major. Let's take a look at the next page. We have some more questions like this. Number 10. No key signatures have been used here. Look at the accidentals and work out the keys. Alright, so this time you won't find a key signature before the time signature at the start. So you will find the key signature, any sharps or flats, written out in front of the note. So look out for any sharps or flats. Let's find out the starting note and the last note. So they are both F's here. Now see if there are any sharps or flats. It can be in the key of F major, but there should be a B flat. So I did find a B flat here. Yes. So we have a clue that this key of this piece is F major. Let's take a look at the next one. We have a G as the starting note and a C as the last note of this piece. Now they are not both the same note. So we don't know whether it's a C major or a G major. It can be either of it. So let's see, for C major there are no sharps or flats. But for G major we have a F sharp. Let's see if we have any sharps or flats. Oh yes, we do find a sharp here. So that's an F sharp. So we can take it as G major scale because G major has one F sharp in the key signature. If there are no sharps or flats, you can take it as C major. You need both clues to check these questions. Next one is also starting on two different notes. So it can be either C major or G major. So now we know the key signatures of C major has no sharps or flats. G major has one sharp. Check to see if you can find any sharps or flats on this piece. We don't find any sharps or flats here. So clearly we can take it as the C major scale. Okay, let's do the last one. Starting and ending on G. So we also have a sharp here, which is the key signature of G major, F sharp. So we can take this as G major. So when you're done with this, double check all your answers. There are a lot of questions that we did in this lesson. Take your time and do this on your own. And I'll see you next time. Have fun.